I'm Lucy Kalin. I'm a junior here at Live Oak, and I'm playing the role of Nick Bottom.
Hi, I'm Soraya Reyes. I'm in 10th grade here, and I am set designer and costume designer and publicity manager for this show.
Cool.
I'm Becca Snook. I'm a junior, and I play Robin Goodfellow / Puck.
Okay, some really good roles here, Bottom and Robin Goodfellow, Puck. So the play is, what's the play? All three together?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay, and who wrote it?
Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare. This is one of his comedies, I believe. Is that a comedy?
Yes,
So
it's a comedy.
what's the story about?
Well, there's 4 lovers, and unfortunately they can't be together at the end of the play, at the beginning of the play, goodness. And they get caught in this crazy fairy argument in the woods, and in the end it turns out happily ever after because it's Shakespeare and it's a comedy.
Happily Ever. And you play one of the fairy crowd. What's
Yeah.
Puck? What does Puck do? And he has some fun with these people.
Puck's kind of the fairy of mischief. He really likes messing with people, and he has as many things as can go wrong is the best for him. So while everyone's confused and trying to fix everything, I'm kind of just like having fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're having fun. And what do you do? Tell me about your role in the play.
So I'm designing all the costumes for the actors. I help try and interpret and analyze their character and show that best on stage and also in the set. So trying to see what set pieces are really gonna help, tell the play, like show the deeper meaning.
Show the story.
Yes.
So is this play, is it set in a traditional Athens, or is it going to be something modern, or what?
It's not really so much, I guess you know more in the costuming perspective.
Well, tell us about the costuming.
So we combined lots of eras, especially from 1850s Victorian to a lot of modern day. We don't exactly have any in between, except for a play within a play, which goes back to ancient Athens, Greece. But a lot of it we have the Victorian 1850s England going on, and I personally really enjoy that era. And as for the group of mechanicals, which are a troupe of actors, which we see Nick Bottom, we have very modernized costumes.
Modernized costumes. Yeah. So the Mechanicals are my favorite group. They're so funny. What are the Mechanicals? How would you describe the Mechanicals?
They're a bunch of guys who have everyday jobs. Some of them are pretty bad, but they're like a group of community theater players. So they think they're really, really good. They're not that great, but they believe so much in themselves that it's great.
So I think Shakespeare might have had an affection for, the amateur actors.
Definitely.
And he created a role for these guys that basically mechanicals mean they're mechanics. They work with machines, and they're not really actors, but they're having fun, and they're performing for...
They're performing for the Duke at his wedding night. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So and who's the Duke marrying?
He's marrying the Amazonian queen Hippolyta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Becca, you were in Macbeth, which was a story about kind of a dysfunctional family. There's a lot of dysfunction in Midsummer Night's Dream too. What would you describe as this dysfunction on all 3 levels?
Well,
Pop quiz time.
yeah, well, Macbeth really was like about the rise to power and stuff. This one is more an argument in themselves, and they are trying to get together, and some of them are trying to get people that don't want them, and some of them are just too many weddings happening at once, really. But that's like Shakespearean comedy. But I make everything go wrong, so that's most of the dysfunction comes with me. Things should work themselves out in the end, but in between, no one knows what's going to happen next.
You're the mischief maker that stirs the mud, right?
Yeah.
But that's what keeps the story interesting. So.
Yeah, I fix some things, ruin some things.
So I studied Shakespeare in England when I was did a study abroad program. This was one of the plays we studied, and essentially this play is about 2 things. And cover your ears, children. First is sex. Second is love, and how they relate with each other, and how when things go wrong, they go really wrong, and the fickleness of love and sex. So maybe talk about the romantic aspect of this play, and this was originally written for a wedding, performed at a wedding. Why would you have a play about dysfunctional marriage or relationships for a wedding? Why would you think Shakespeare did that?
Well, as me and Andrew, our director, were talking, we found that there is something called true love, which we see with Lysander and Hermia, one of the main lovers, couple. And then we see love which has been, tampered with when we see with Demetrius and Helena. And that really shows that, you can't exactly love a person. You can love a person, but then you can also love a person in a fake way. And a lot of the times, true love is just the same as fake love in a sense. And even we see in Theseus and Hippolyta, there's a war going on, and he forces her to marry her, kind of, because he took over her people. And that's a deeper sense where we see she finally kind of gives in, maybe for the good of her people, but also because she's starting to love him. It's something you just, love's shown in many different ways throughout this play.
And love can be fickle. It can change at the turn of a little magic potion in your eye, huh?
Yeah.
So Bottom, you have an interesting metamorphosis, or your character Bottom has an interesting metamorphosis. Can you tell me what happens?
Well, my good friend Puck over there, she decides that she's going to make even more mischief, and at the command of Oberon, the fairy king, she squeezes a little love potion onto Tanya, the fairy queen's eyes, and so that the first thing that she sees, she'll fall in love with. And then Puck thinks, that would be funny if I took a mortal and put a donkey head on them, and then that's the first thing Titania sees. So that ends up being a whole romance in itself. But
So we could use the word literally. Puck makes an ass out of Bottom.
Pretty much. That's my whole character.
But then it gets more complicated. What happens with the fairy queen in Bottom?
Well, she kind of ropes him in. He goes unwillingly at first, but then he's like, wow, fairy queen, once in a lifetime chance. And that ends up happening.
So it's an interesting, there's some interesting dilemmas in this story in terms of, high fairy falling in love with an ass.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
And I think the audience back in London in that time, when Shakespeare wrote this, they would have loved that, to see, the high hoity-toity people, being made fools by falling in love with an animal, or a man who becomes an animal.
Yeah.
So, are you having fun doing this play, Becca?
Yeah. Definitely.
What's the best part of doing the play?
Puck is very acrobatic. I usually get kind of similar roles, but this one is super different from anything I've done. And there's kind of gymnastics, there's magic, there's all kinds of things, and this role is so fun for me to do because it brings out a much more kind of fun side of me, and it's such a fun role to play for me. And I love the story too, and I just love it so much.
How about you, working on the play in terms of the backgrounds and the costumes and all that?
I've loved it. It's a big handful for one person, but I've had so much help, even with my fellow cast members. They've been so helpful and just willing to, try on something a little bit crazy, because this is a bit of a twisted version of A Midsummer's Night Dream. So them being willing to go with my funky designs and ideas has really just been an amazing help.
So Andrew really sparks your creativity and lets you take some chances in your
definitely
your art?
Especially since this is more of a twisted version, we're going with the darker themes of this production. I feel like it really allows me to go deeper within the character and find the little quirks and little sparks of creativity that come from my mind, come really within the characters and just what they resemble, and you literally take what they resemble and put it on them literally.
Cool. So well, Bottom, you better be having fun with this role, because it's one of the best roles in all of Shakespeare. So
it's so fun. I'm bottom is pretty much the opposite of who I am personally, so it's been a little bit of a challenge, but sometimes Andrew will tell me to deliver a line that I never thought would work, but then I say it and then he'll burst out laughing and I think, yes, I did something right. So it's
Cool.
been really, really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final question for all three of you actors, performers. Why would you encourage people, friends and family, and people who might not know about Shakespeare, why would you encourage them to come to this play and then maybe check out Shakespeare? Becca?
Well, a lot of people are intimidated by Shakespeare because of the language, but it is actually modern English. But if you really focus on the story, you'll actually find you can understand a lot more. On paper, it's confusing, but it's not how it's meant to be done, because it's meant to be a play. That's how it was intended. So when you see it act out, you'll laugh more than you think, and you'll understand more than you think. And this story really isn't just about romantic love. It's about every type. It's about self-love. It's about unrequited love. It's about platonic love, family love. It's no matter who you are or what you're going through, there's something you can take away from this story and have a laugh while you're doing it.
Good answer. Let's get here to your answer. Why should people come and see this play?
Honestly, Shakespeare is one of, if not my favorite, writer, and I absolutely personally think that this play speaks to everyone. Like Becca said, you can find something to relate to, whether it's like about loving yourself, about loving other people, about, you know, arguments, the ups and downs within relationships, or even just like discovering yourself as a person and watching the characters change and grow and learn lessons within a comedy. I mean, it's something that you're really going to want to see. Just comedies and life lessons.
Okay. And now you, Lucy.
I just like what Sarai has been saying. It's a perfect, you can always take something out of it no matter who you are. It's also just hilarious, and it's a really great thing to just lose yourself in, and we've got great special effects and awesome staging and costumes, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, final question. When is the performances?
Opening night, October 26th and 27th.
26th and 27th. And how much for the tickets?
Tickets are $12 and for premium, and $10 for general admission. Yes.
Okay. And where do you get more information?
Go to our website, which is liveoakdrama.com, lohsdrama.net.
Yes.
Personally, I'm not sure. But check out our Instagram and Facebook pages.
Okay, cue in the applause for you three performers. You did a fantastic job. So check out Midsummer's Night's Dream coming up soon at Live Oak High School Theater.